the line here, coming to us from Gaza, and where he's been basically fighting since the war began. I think you've been in Gaza more than you've been out over the last 19 months or whatever. Haim, we got a bad connection, so I'm going to just let you talk. Just tell us what's happening in Gaza right now.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chuck. You're looking well. I'm glad to be on with you. Gideon's Chariots, let me tell you what, the largest ever mission to defeat Hamas entirely, to create sterile zones free of tunnels, free of RPGs, free of snipers, filled with humanitarian aid to give to the Gazans who are not Hamas. Very big plan, but it does feel like it's a little bit stalling. I mean, we were expecting to ride the chariots like Jehu of old, but these chariots are, let's call it, just still getting ready. People are doing a lot of target practice and a lot of logistics, and not. But it's still, the fighting is actually intensifying. You'd think it'd be like calming down, but it's not. You could see videos coming out of real intense fighting. But yet my point is the full force that we plan to bring is not yet happening. We look to Doha, Qatar, and we're seeing what's going on in Abu Dhabi. We're seeing what's going on in Saudi, and so on, and what's going on in Syria. And I feel, in a way, there might be the Middle East trip of President of the United States, Donald Trump. So I'm wondering if there may be something coming down the pipeline that we're not fully appraised to at this time, which could affect that mission and defeating Hamas entirely. I could say this: all of us are really, really like Gideon, because sure, there's many that are tired. Sure, there's many that are drinking the water from, like, by putting their face in the water. But there are those like us, I'd say, that are taking the water like this, like Gideon, and got the shofar ready. I got my shofar really ready, actually, when we charge. And the sword of the Lord, yeah, the swords of iron, but the sword of the Lord and of Gideon. And we got to defeat the Hamas for our kids' sake. And I'll just say this, is that as the Hamas is getting pummeled and getting weaker, I'm just going to say, I believe we took out Mohammed Sinwar, the brother of Yahya Sinwar, the mastermind. And the amount of explosion, I mean, cows were flying. They were okay, but they fell over from the blood. I've also been thrown myself from the intense impact of these explosives, even from far away. But I believe he's defeated. I believe he's eliminated, that is, and Hamas will be defeated. But we can't accept any deals like, let's just give them a chance to regroup, rearm. No. I believe and hope for the exact opposite, that the 21 Jewish towns that were in Gaza until 2025, when we completely exited Gaza, completely and entirely, those towns will come back. And indeed, that a better future for all of us will begin in this service. And today is my 588th day, I believe it is. 588, I believe.
Unbelievable. So now the media in Europe and everywhere else is talking about, oh, there's a humanitarian crisis in Gaza. There's famine. There are people dying of starvation. And I mean, I think that the correct answer to that is release the hostages. Have you tried releasing the hostages? Like, you still have hostages, and so what have you seen in terms of foreign aid or food aid coming in or being distributed or anything like that?
Absolutely. So, before this, when we understood that Hamas is robbing their own people, when we understood Hamas is getting on every single truck, and hundreds of trucks would go in. I mean, I myself was taking videos with the Aliyah Return Center charity I run in the Emergency Aid Initiative, and I was filming in Gaza these trucks. But we realized if Hamas is just going to steal from their own people, then that's not working. We need to make sterile areas. So right now they said, let's put a stop to it, but it doesn't mean they're starving. There's so much of a buildup of food there. I mean, you see the market is open. There's videos of the market open. You go to Gaza City, you can see in Derij Stufach, you see in certain areas where they have not the whole place. The whole place is really primarily unlivable. I mean, there's nowhere to lie. The whole place, for the most part, has been in war for 588 days or so. And so, but there are areas where the food is, and Hamas is selling it back to their own people. My hope and my prayer is that will be able to, these chariots of Gideon will be able to ride, and will make sterile areas where they're going to get so much food, medical, and everything, because their hospitals are compromised. I mean, the last hospitals are, is it a hospital or is it a terror base? I mean, we got to be honest with
Right.
ourselves. Terror base, and so you can't. You can't have them both, and so we need to make new medical areas. There is medical needs. There are medical needs, and we want that to be met in the areas near the Marag. The Marag will be the border of that Marag corridor, which is, by the way, a name of one of those towns from the towns from before 2005. And just this, if we trust Julani, the ISIS leader, he's actually Al-Qaeda or ISIS leader of Syria right now, who just massacred. He did kind of an October 7th style massacre on the Christians, on the Druze, on the Alawites, on the minorities there. And so if we trust him, if we trust Qatar, who's sworn to infiltrate America, infiltrate the universities, and they're essentially Muslim Brotherhood. Now, I personally am just going to say something of my own thought. I would trust Saudi Arabia. I know that they did 9/11. I would, though, bin Salman, I see in him. I have a video from almost 2 years ago, year and a half ago, that I called out in a video from on a roof where there was a sniper shooting at me. And I said, I want Salman to,
I've never seen such an amazing cleaning product. It's just like
Crown of Saudi Arabia, to be able to help channel the Arab government, the Arab investments, and the Arab donations, along with Israel, along with America, and make a triune partnership, which would help to build up. I don't know how many people liked that I was saying that in the midst of the heat of the battle, but I said, come on, you got to do this. So it might happen, and maybe I was prophetic in some way. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So President Trump said today that the United States should take Gaza and rebuild it. Those of you that have been there fighting for Gaza for the last 588 days, how do you and your fellow soldiers feel about statements like that?
I love it. In fact, I believe that Trump's plan to take over Gaza completely is actually the only viable plan. A two-state solution for sure will not work. I mean, that's been tried in 2005 when we completely left Gaza completely and entirely. It's been tried. And we need to try something new. Einstein is accredited with that saying, to do the same thing again and again and expect a different outcome is the definition of insanity. We must do Trump's plan, and we must do it quick.
That's right. Yeah, I agree. Well, that's fantastic. I know you're busy. Thank you very much for coming on with us. And I know that our viewers are going to love hearing from you.
Yeah, and really, not only are they kind of tired, the soldiers, but really just an encouragement, sending the beef jerky people send, or I know my guys are asking for tactical helmets again. One might say, haven't they been able to get their own equipment by now? And I say, well, people are switching out and switching in, and there are still needs. That's why we have the emergency aid initiative with the Aliyah
How
Return
do
Center.
people get a hold of that? How do people give to the emergency aid initiative?
They just go to aliyahreturncenter.com/donate, ALIYAH returncenter.com/donate, and then just put in the notes for soldiers or for Army, for IDF, whatever. If they want to send beef jerky, everyone loves it, and they just send it to our P.O. Box 2288 Tiberias, Israel.
Fantastic.
Yeah.